I'm from Cyprus. Turkey invaded Cyprus in 1974, and we're trying to have a solution. Like, we'll be speaking to have like a solution in Cyprus. But what should be my stance or the stance of Cyprus? Should we try to have as much pressure for Turkey to have sanctions, to pressure them for the solution in Cyprus? How we should approach this topic?
Who's going to put the sanctions on Turkey?
I don't know. We could influence the European Union, as we are members of. So,
you think the European Union might put sanctions on Turkey?
I don't know. Sometimes we can take them out of when we're giving funding for weapons and all this stuff, because the European Union works with veto. So if one president goes against what the European Union does, it can put a veto. So sometimes
why has there been no pressure on Turkey over Cyprus up till now?
I don't know. You tell me, because we want to be friends with Turkey, with NATO and stuff.
Yeah, nobody wants to pick a fight with Turkey over this issue. I mean,
so what we should do, as I'm from Cyprus, what we should do, what should I be doing as a member of the European Parliament? Can you, with this, we have this containment strategy as well, whenever we can, to put pressure and to sanction and to do Turkey in order to force them to come in the table and try to have a solution? I don't know.
I don't have a good answer to that. And I think if there was a good answer, you would know what it is, right? I think the fact that you're asking me tells you there is no good answer. Turkey's much bigger than Cyprus.
Much bigger.
And
we're 1 million population, they are 85, 89.
And the Turks, they're not interested at all in giving up Cyprus, going back to the status quo ante. And the question is, how do you get them to do it? Good luck. I've not studied the issue carefully, but I don't see a solution here. Do you?
Hopefully, I hope for the best.
Yeah, that I understand that, but
so you don't think that? But we should try to do as much as possible with our part inside the European Union to pressure Turkey for this. This is what we should do, right? Or we should give up. What should we do?
I don't know enough about that case to really have a firm example. I think that I think it's just one of those thorny problems that there's just kind of no solution to. It's almost like Taiwan. What's the solution to Taiwan? The Taiwan problem. What's the solution? The Chinese view it as sacred territory, and they absolutely want it back. And it also has some strategic value to China. But the fact that it's sacred territory and was taken by the Japanese in 1895, this drives them crazy. So I understand their point of view. Then there's the other side. This is the Jewish. Forget that. My brain slipped out of gear. What were we talking about here?
We were talking about Cyprus and Turkey.
Cyprus and Turkey.
And you said that is similar to Taiwan conflict. That is very difficult case.
Yeah, very. It's sorry, I got sidetracked there. It's like Taiwan. The Chinese want Taiwan back. It's sacred territory, and the Americans want Taiwan to remain basically a quasi-independent country. Because they think it's of enormous strategic value. And they also think that Taiwan is a democracy and China's not. And they don't want to see Taiwan become part of China. And also chips are produced on Taiwan. But most importantly, Taiwan is a very important strategic asset for the United States. And so how do you square that problem, right? And I was going to say just about going to Gaza, and going to the West Bank and the whole Palestinian problem. This is what I was thinking of when my brain slipped out of gear. The Israeli Jews want a one-state solution. They want a Jewish state between the river and the sea. Hamas and most Palestinians want a one-state solution. They want a unified Palestinian state between the river and the sea. How do you square that circle? How do you, what's the solution to that? People say a two-state solution, you just cut it in half. Maybe, but the Palestinians, at least Hamas, doesn't want a two-state solution. The Israeli Jews don't want a two-state solution. Both sides want a one-state solution on the same piece of land. How do you solve that problem? How do you solve Cyprus? Do you really think the Turks are going to leave Cyprus? You think the Turks will leave Cyprus?
Well, in 2004, it was they were trying to solve the problem, and it was a voting thing, and the Greeks voted to not. So it was attempts. So maybe if they still have, in a way, some influence because they will have Turkish Cypriots in the island as well, it could. But also they have it as a problem always, the Turkey, when they come to do stuff with Europe, and when they want to, they have it they find it always in front of them. So maybe it will be in their interest at some point or maybe the balances will change, or they will different things. So I don't know. But you are pessimistic about this as I am.
Well, I think nobody even talks about Cyprus these days. You do because you're from Cyprus, and I fully understand that, and I appreciate your position. But most people don't talk about Cyprus because they can't see a solution. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict, we have to talk about that for all the obvious reasons. And Taiwan, we have to talk about. But a lot of these problems, there's just no solution.